The past may be forgotten, but it does not die, for the voice of the past is present and speaks to us today. In the disordered confusion of the modern age, this voice is often lost to us, but those who are still and who strain to listen will hear it as it echoes to us through time, for the voice of tradition is never silent. Tradition is no petrified fossil or relic of dead bone, nor is it the flotsam and jetsam of a misguided people, or the product of childish superstition carelessly forged in the half-light of ignorance. Tradition is a vigorous and dynamic force which orients us, which grounds us, which gives meaning and identity, and in which we address the boundless by which we are in our lives daily surrounded. Tradition is a force which expresses the particular vitality, artistry, and energies of our people, passed on as they are from generation to generation. These energies are expressed not just in our songs and stories or in our traditional music and dance, but in our popular customs and beliefs, in our rites of passage, in our religious traditions, and in our calendar customs. They find further expression in our material culture, in our built heritage, in our crafts, in our tools, and in our traditional costumes and dress. They are expressed in our agrarian culture, in our maritime culture, and in our urban culture. From mountain pasture to market town, from the rolling plains of the Midlands to the windswept coastal regions, from the natural to the supernatural, from the pagan to the Christian, and from the Irish to the Indo-European, these manifestations, both concrete and abstract, combine to form the broad landscape of our cultural inheritance. Our folk traditions reside in many places. They have been carefully kindled at the fireside, and they have lived on the lips of great storytellers and singers. They have been woven as thread in the hands of skillful women, and they have been planted as seeds in the fertile earth by the countless generations who have gone before us. Seeds which ripen in our hearts today, and which are for us a great harvest and rich store which will sustain us into the future. From these precious seeds has grown the great tree of tradition, a tree which bears upon its many flowering branches the fruits of memory, the gifts of song and story, of craft and custom, of proverb and of place name. Upon each of these varying branches of tradition can be seen the artistry and wit of our forebears. Through these customs, the individual finds expression in the communal. In them, the wisdom of the many is expressed by the wit of the few, and by them is shown the inner life of our people. These are the practices that give hope in times of despair, which soothe in times of sorrow and grief, which give courage to the weary, which honour the dead, welcome the newborn, and which orient and guide us on our way. In the fretful restlessness and clamour of the modern age, however, our way is not so clear. In modernity, tradition has been replaced with ideas of endless progress, endless production, and endless consumption. In lives ruled by contingency, with existence lacking any real meaning or higher principle, the absence of tradition leads to meaninglessness, amnesia, and nihilism. The rejection of tradition does not represent a progressive casting off of chains that restrict, but the severing of a life-giving cord that sustains and of ties that bind. But the future is not what it used to be, and in looking to our past, we see a way forward. By coming to know our forebears, their dreams and hopes, their struggles and modes of living, their beliefs and their customs, their rituals and crafts, we come to know ourselves. We recognize in our ancestors the voices of our mothers and our fathers. By looking upon their faces, we see our own faces. A knowledge and respect for our past should root and inform our present, and likewise guide our future. The past may be forgotten, but it does not die, for the echoes of the past are present and speak to us today. In Ireland, in Europe, and further afield, be still and listen to the voice of tradition. Having listened, answer.